tell me if I'm nuts. I do think that the Chiefs benefit this week by flying in on Saturday and not being there, regardless of how dialed back the throngs of humanity are. I think, am I wrong to think that they can benefit from staying at home all week?
I'm with you on that one. That's been one of the great questions all week, and I don't know that we'll have a definitive answer when the game's over, Andrew. It's just, where it's all theory, isn't it? How does it work best? It's kind of like an analogy would be, for the longest time when you went to play in Denver, remember when we were kids, everybody talked about how you had to get there earlier in the week and acclimate your team, right? So teams would leave really early in the week. And then you found out from sports scientists, they said, hold on a second. The worst of it actually occurs after 3 or 4 days because it takes longer than that to acclimate. The best thing you can do is go as late as possible. And I remember there was an AFC Championship game, and I think your beloved Cleveland Browns may have asked the league if they could come in late in the evening because they were supposed to be there by a certain time.
It would have been 89 if that were the case.
Yeah. I think it was them, but don't hold me to it. But somebody for a really important game asked the league if they could come in later, and believe it was granted. And I think the Broncos flipped out. Like, whoa. They're supposed to be in by this time because they were hoping some more of those altitude effects would take place. My point is very simply this. This year, if Kansas City had to come and be in Tampa for an entire week, it's not the hotels at all. It's just the atmosphere. The atmosphere is this is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers home game. I mean, and the Bucs would have been in their own beds and all those other things. To me, it would have been a major disadvantage. But this one, a normal business trip, oh, yeah. And how many games in a row now have the Chiefs won with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, either road or neutral? We're in double digits. I think it's 12 straight. So I'm with you on this one. This one, to me, benefits Kansas City. The only thing that's changed for them this week is they've had to do more Zoom media obligations.
Sure.
Everything else, own beds, own practice field, everything like that. I think it's a huge advantage. Not advantage, but a huge relief for Kansas City since they're playing Tampa Bay. If it was playing someone else, then it's all neutral, right? Everybody's doing the same thing anyway. But this is different because Tampa is the home team and truly the home team.
Yeah, and the virtual commitments are still there, and they're massive this week. But you can do them from home, or you could do them from the facility, or you could do them in your car if someone else is driving, for Pete's sake. When you are there.
Tom Brady did his getting treatment.
Right. When you're there, if you're one of the big name players, hey, guess what? The car service is picking you up Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. You got to be downstairs, and they got to get you across town to get to this appearance you're doing. And then you got to sign a couple autographs. It's a meet and greet, and then you're going back, and you're trying to juggle all those. Not everyone has those, but none of those, for lack of a better word, distractions are there. And sometimes for a second-year Super Bowl team, a team that has done that, you would have learned to cut them out anyway. Like, we came last year, we had a good time, we've gone through this, we're the veterans now, and maybe it wouldn't have been that bad. But just being able to be at home and get up like it's any other game. Saturday morning, get to the facility, do your COVID test, do your TSA, get on the bus, fly there, check in, do your meetings as normal. Nothing's different except just a bunch of interviews during the week. Talking to the great Charles Davis. For those,
I would agree. Great point on that, Andrew, and I'm just going to cap it with this.
Yeah.
What we're seeing with this Super Bowl and how we are having to cover it, it'll be interesting when we have this conversation when we get back to what we keep calling a normal world. Now, we know nothing will be normal again. But let's say we're back to where you move around freely. We're not having to wear masks, right? We can have throngs again. How many different things we're adding this year or doing this year will we retain in how we cover next year? Because I do think if we get it back, media night on Monday night, I think it'll come back because it was such a happening. But the rest of the stuff during the week where they have to go to the podium and that may change and the Zoom stuff may stay in order to take a lot of the burden off the players as you just talked about.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.